All right, so I've gone in and I've set up a HUD for the now game. So if we look at my content draw, um, I've got this move me. Basically, we'll go over that one moment. But I've created a nano HUD, BP nano HUD, and I've gone into the game mode and assigned it. Where is it? Here, BP nano HUD. So I've assigned it to the HUD class in the game mode. So that's what's going on here. Let me close game mode. The nano HUD, the big one is that it creates the move me widget. We'll change this out. This is going to get changed out for what we're going to do today. But I'm just showing you this right now, just so you can see this in action. I'll go over what this is in one moment, but it's basically adding to the viewport and then setting the mouse cursor. This is setting it position in the world. We'll go over that in a moment when we look at the move me class itself. So what's going on when I go into game, it runs the HUD, adds that little widget, move me, and I can click on the button and it moves the widget. So what I'm showing you here effectively is how do I place a widget on the screen where I freaking want it? And that's going to be important later on in your last piece of your assignment. That's going to be important. So, all right, let's look at the Move Me widget. I'll just go to Designer, and it's basically a canvas panel, move button, text, move. And it's black text, 12 point. So nothing major. On the graph, I decided to do event calls function. And I didn't have to, but I did anyways. So here's what the move me function does. We're basically taking, so when we're dealing with widgets, we're setting the render transform and the transform. So literally what you'll need to do is type get transform. And here's render transform, get transform. And it's going to give you this lovely structure right here. Widget transform structure. Cool. Break the struct pin. So transform translation position. Transform scale, as you think, transform scale, and then transform angle is a rotation on it. So the values you can play with the translation of that object. So for our purposes, what we're doing is basically we're splitting this and adding to the Y value, so it goes down the screen. And that's basically, I've made a move value amount. Right now I'm going to make it, I'll bring this out. I'll make this 10 for right now, so it's smaller. But I'm adding it to the Y and shoving that into the Y, and basically keeping the X, keeping the Y. So the only thing I'm changing is the Y value. Again, set render transform is the node that you'd want to then set the location on the screen. So pretty straightforward. Again, this is relative to your screen size. So if you're a smaller screen, be mindful with this. This is you may need to scale this and do this in different ways depending on your screen stuff. So be mindful of that piece. So if we go back and we can press play, you can see that now it's only moving 10 units on screen. It allows me to do this lovely. I can move the mouse down with it easily. Again. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to need. We're gonna let's go over your assignment now. That's not the correct. There we go. All right. So part one, implement a timer. You've done this. This is pretty much. Ooh, I got garbage here. So time remaining and it basically should be 2 booleans. You're gonna need a game state class. We're gonna build that right now. Let me save this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build again blueprint class, game state, and I think we want the game state base version. Yeah. It's spawned by game mode base. Yeah, so this is the one that we want. So we'll select that. This will be our BP nano game state. All right, and here basically, basically it's only two variables that we need to put in here. Well, so this will be Boolean is game over. And then this one is going to be a, we'll use an integer. Time left. Compile. I'm not really too concerned about these states because basically we're going to push the values of the game mode directly to this state. Now that we've created that, let's go back to our game mode. Should we save everything? Here's the game mode. And let's just go in under game state class. Let's go to the nano game state. So there we go. I can compile that. So now we're using that. Wait, did I do that in the? Yeah, here's the game mode. Let's go open the full blueprint editor. And this is, what we've done. Let's make three variables here. Again, this is going to be is game over. This is going to be round time. I'm just going to make these I'll make these editable. And this is going to be an integer. And this is time remaining. And this will be an integer as well. Of these, I'm going to set a round time of basically compile so I can get that. We'll do 20. Just so that we've got that up and going. Let's start like a function. We'll do start game. And this is going to be, hey, is game over? We'll set that to be false. And then time remaining, we'll get, time remaining we'll set. And we'll set that to the round time. So basically so this is our start game. I'll compile that. Let's jump back to our event graph, and then on begin play, we'll just start game. And we can worry about restarting the game and whatnot. Basically, we can create an event, add event, custom event, restart game. And then we'll just bring in the start game. In theory, we should probably go and do restart game. We're going to go this way. What we are going to do, so there we go. And then I'm going to get another function. It's going to be like push game stats. And let's compile that. Let's set that again, push game stats, and we'll apply that here. And so what we're going to do in there in push game stats, effectively what we're going to do is we're going to get game state. Again, it's a game state based off of reference. So the first thing is we need to cast to BP nano game state. And then as BP nano game state, set let's hold on one second. And what I didn't do is I didn't make these instance editable, so they're not public. So let's compile. Let's just do this called time remaining. So we're consistent with how we're naming things. So let's save everything. Here's the game mode. So as the nano game state, we want to set is game over. And again, I will grab our game over value here and plug into there. And then I'm just going to do a reroute. And then we're going to set time remaining. And time remaining. That's pretty much all that we need to do for this function right here. So and what we're going to do, I'm going to go back to my, again, every tick, I'm just going to push data. Is this excessive? Probably. I don't need to do this every tick. I can do this as, I mean, one of the things I could probably do is, I could break this in half. I'm going to use tick right now, but we could do a set function that, you know, gets the value, the new value, sets it here, sets it in, and then sets it in the game state. I'm just going to use the tick for right now, but that more likely you're going to do a have a function, set the value, set the value, set the value. All right, so let's. Now that we've got that, the only thing that we need now is just a clock. Sorry, I should timer. Let's just call it timer tick. And basically what's going to happen here is time remaining, we'll subtract 1 from it. And then if I'll say this is less than or equal to 0. If that's true, then you know, is game over is going to be turned on. So the one thing that I will go and I will do, let's go back to our event on our tick. What we'll do is we'll say if it's false. Oh no. Yeah, no, if it's false, we'll keep pushing game stats. Otherwise, do I want to? No. This is not what I want to do. Hold on. We'll keep pushing this on tick. Restart game, begin play. Yeah, we want to call yeah, we'll set timer function by name. Function name is going to be, again, timer tick. Time, I'll just set this to 1 second here. Is looping. I'll set max once per frame. I don't need to. Is there anything else? I don't need any initial delays. Yeah, what I can do then, actually, what I should be doing is set up an event here. Add event. end game. Put this down, and then I can clear timer by function name. Again, this will be the timer tick. So again, stuff you've seen already. What I should be doing is back in the timer tick, I should be calling also endgame. This really should be in the endgame function, but I'll on that event, but we'll leave it for right now. So we'll compile. And just for the sake of argument right now, let's go to our event. Begin play. I'm just going to say print begin game. I'm going to move these down so I have room. Start game. And then end game. And just sake of argument, so we can see that it. So this is going to be a lazy way to do this, but I'm going to just plug that into the string right here. So we'll see it. So we'll see it count down. So again, these are here just so that we can see what's going on without having build a HUD right now. So we'll compile. We can jump into game. We can press play. So you can see it's going crazy with the numbers because on every tick. Three, two, one, and then there was an end game in there. So it is working.
But it's still going.
It is going afterwards, and that's partly because we're pushing it. The problem is we're pushing the game stats. I'm going to leave this for right now. Again, let's go back and go to back to the game mode, and let's set. Sorry, I got the wrong one. Here we go. So let's start with time remaining. Not time remaining, around time. Let's do 4 seconds. Compile, press play. And I want to go back here to the game mode. You can see game over is yeah. So you can see that value's there. Pawn, nano game, P player, nano game state. You can see that again. The values have been pushed, and that's what we want right now. All right, so let's go back to the game mode. Let's take this out. All right, so I'm gonna go basically build. So let's go to the nano HUD. Actually, let's build two widgets. Let's put a new folder. State. Not you. Okay. Let me just move these out of the way. Move you out of the way. There we go. Okay. Let me see. Message log over here. Nano game. We do a little cleanup. We don't need game mode anymore. To compile though. We don't need move me. We don't need the game state open at the moment. Okay. Let's make a new blueprint class. And this is going to be game mode. Oh, no, sorry. It's going to be a user widget. And this is going to be BP Nano Game HUD. I don't need you. Yeah. I could probably name this better, but I'll leave it that right now. But essentially, again, we'll make a panel. I'm going to leave it full screen at the moment. We'll just go to text, and then I just need 2. Okay. And this is going to be time. I'll make this 48. Yeah, position of 300. And I'll go 50 down just so it's out of the way. And then this will be 400. There you go. Do 500, 50. And then make this 48. I'll make this red. Oh, yeah, we'll make it red. And then here, we'll just put in so multiple hashtags just to do what we want. All right. We can now basically bind this. This is what the thing that we want to bind. Create a binding. And what we want to do is get game state. Again, the first thing we're going to have to do is cast to BP nano game state. As nano game state, we want to get time remaining. And that will convert for us. So there we go. So we've got this piece. So let's go back to our nano HUD and event graph. Just going to use sequencer just to make our lives easier. I'm going to leave the move on screen, and we'll go up here with a reroute. So what we need to do right now is we need to establish the nano game hub. So let's create the widget. This is going to be BP nano game. I should gameplay HUD. Owning player is going to be again the let's get player controller. Let's move this out a little bit. And then, as always, we're going to do add to viewport. Compile, save everything, and then let's jump into game. You can see that it is functioning, and then you can see, you know, what we have left. So let's go to so we've got this up and running. Let's go to project settings. Go to, I think everything is working. Should be. Oh, I'm blanking, guys. Where is it? It's. Come on, blanking. What property am I looking for? I'm blanking. Top of my head. Someone, please.
What are we trying to do?
I'm trying to set the. Is it not level editor?
Isn't it in mapping?
I went too far.
I've done this one a few times.
Yeah.
Isn't it in maps and modes? We can set that up, like right at the top. Of the project?
Yeah. Project settings, maps, and
Mhm.
modes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And it's
Um,
in the default map section of this.
no, I'm not trying to set the map. I'm trying to set it so there's multiple clients.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be an editor preference?
Okay.
I think it's editor preferences and
What section? What am I looking for?
it'd be in level editor.
Okay. No.
So I mean, literally, like, it's in play. Level editor. Play on your multiplayer option.
Where I'm blanking. Which category? So what's the first category?
Level editor. And then you have to go to the editor preferences.
Was I in the? Oh,
Yeah, that's
I'm
project settings.
that's okay.
Yeah, project settings.
Oh, editor. My God. Okay. All right. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Man. Play as listen server. Client set up to. There we go. There we go. You can have brain farts too, everyone.
Probably gonna need to cut this section out of the lecture.
No, it'll just stay there. You know, you'll survive.
We can skip.
So I'm not getting.
Real and VR.
Well,
Probably, but this is not that class.
yeah, but please.
Don't make it hard for yourself.
Okay, class. That deals with input. They're not a big deal. Why is it not? Do you guys know what I did wrong?
No, but I keep having that, like, error as well.
No, that's a different error. This is we'll talk about this one moment. Do you know what I did wrong? We talk about brain farts. I did a really big brain fart. Let's go back to the game state. I didn't set them to be replicated.
Oh,
Like I said, this is why we test our work, because you're never gonna get it right the first time. This is what testing is about. Yeah. So now we can press play. There we go. Timer is up, and hooray, it's doing what we want. So, conversely, because I'm just going to, because I don't want to make another widget, I'm actually going to go back. Oops, let's bring this back up. Let's go to the game HUD. We'll get text. And this is going to be, let me see. Has no game state. Get is game over. And I'm just going to set this up this way. Let's bring these nodes back. So these guys, I'm going to go up. Yeah, this is messy. And I'm going to just basically, I'm going to just hack this in right here, and this is going to be game over. So basically, I've got this right here. I mean, if we were to do this more properly, then the HUD class would be like hiding and showing stuff. For our purposes right now, I'm just going to hack that in for, again, and I forget. Let me go back. Let's close you. There we go. I forget this is the false side of it. Compile, and then off we go. See, 3, 2, 1, game over. Again, if we were doing this, again, one of the things that we can do now is like, hey, we could put a new widget on screen that's a button. And that, we press that button, and then it restarts the game effectively. So another way you can restart the game is like literally reload the level, since this is going to be our game level effectively. So ideally, you'd have again. I know we've gone over this. You can create another level. That's the main menu, and then go from there to here. So actually, we'll talk more about connecting. But here is points. All right. So the next thing that we have to deal with is that this is be in play. We'll just get tick for our purposes right now. One of the things that we can do is get player states. Actually, I think it's in the game state. Get game state. Should in here should be able to get the player array. And that is basically an array of player state object references. I mean, this is literally a for each. again, with the array element, you would again go, and then here, this would be, bring this down. But the thing that we would need to now do is go through there. First, literally the first thing is to cast BP nano player state. Actually, what I'd probably want to do is now I'd actually do create a place player info. All right. Ideally, what we would do, let's go back to the event graph. Let's go back to, let's just get the player, use the player state. So basically, right now we've got player name, player score. Later on, you will jump in and you'll parse. So imagine you do player name, player score, and their health. I'll let you figure. That's going to be, so you're going to have to parse how you get to the pawn and all that good stuff. Moving back here, we're going to just start with player name and score for right now. So let's create a new widget, a blueprint class, user widget. And this is going to be BP user info widget. All right. So user info widget. Basically, we're going to have, again, start with the panel. And then we'll start with text. This will be, again, display name. And we'll start with, well, that's the panel. Hold on. Start display name. And then we're just doing default user, lots of space. So basically, this is what we're gonna so the widget basically is going to be this little strip, and we'll do more. I'm gonna duplicate you. We can move you over here. Make sure we're on the 0. Do 450. Yeah, and so this is going to be, actually use the hashtags. I'll go 500. What the heck? And then we can duplicate this. So this will be not displaying the name, but this will be the score field. And this will be the display name field. Do the underscore here. Again, when you're building things, like if we wanted to hey, score equal, it will be, again, what we'll end up having, you'll see that the labels will be part somewhere else. But right now, for our purposes, we're going to build this right here. Color, we'll just say this is green. And I'll duplicate. This will be health. And just to say argument, we'll set this red. And this will say position 500, not on the Y. 600, 650. Yeah, we can do 450. 475. There we go. All right. So this widget basically effectively is going to be, let's bring this here. Let's do custom. It's not going to fill the screen. It's going to be not 100. Height will be say 50. No, that's the width. So I think 700. No, 800. There we go. And then height, say 40. Yeah, we can go 40 with that. That will work well. Just to make these look a little bit better, so they're not. These 5. So there's a little bit of space. Might make this 45, but this will work for what we want. What we now need to do basically is go back to, this is the nano player state. We don't need this open. We don't need the game state open. So what? Let's go back to our event graph. This is the info widget. We don't need is there info widget? We'll come back to this and yeah, well, essentially we'll make a function here. This will be set info, and this again we'll literally put in inputs string. Sorry, this will be display name. Actually, let's not. Actually, what we can we'll do this a different way. Not grab these. Let's actually just take BP player. Do the nano game state. Yeah, we'll just grab the nano game the game state from here. Game state. And that will literally allow us to go. Hello. Actually, what we'll do is think. Be easier to go back to set a variable. BP and we'll just call this nano game state just to be on the safe side. File. All right, so let's go back to the designer. So we'll set the game state related to it here. So let's go start with the display name. And so first thing is we're going to create a binding. So get the field text. First thing is if is valid. If it's not valid, then the first thing, again, I need to copy this. So the first thing, if it's not valid, I'm just going to just basically do a blank. And that's all I'm going to do. If it's true, again, we'll just grab the nano game state again. Get display. So why am I doing it this way? Why, again, let me spread this out a little bit. Why am I checking if it's valid? Well, the object might not be valid when we first create it. We might not have, it might not be set. So this is just to make sure if I don't have anything, if the object hasn't been set just right away, then what I need to do is basically make sure that I'm just going to put blank, and rather than getting, this being not valid. So let's start with that. So what the big thing here is that basically what I want to do is basically I'm going to create these on the fly every single frame essentially. So now that I've got these created, I can go back and I can go to NanoHUD. Actually, let's create a function for this. And this is going to get widgets of class. Again, this is going to be the user info widget. Top level, only widgets are direct children of the viewport will be, yes. Yep. And then with found widgets, basically this is basically we can go for each and then the loop body is remove parent. And then the other thing that we're going to do is destroy actor as well. Should take it. No. All right, so I'm going to remove it from the parent. I'm going to assume that, so by removing it from the parent in this way, I'm assuming garbage collection is going to work. This will do our job for our purposes for right now. So let's go back to our event grid. And ideally what we want to do is let's create another function here is place player info. What are you doing? Inputs, basically, there's two, will be three, actually. All right, so the first one will be the player stat. And this will be BP nano game player state. Next one is basically this will be the call it the anchor point, and this will be a vector 2D. And then the last one is going to be row number, and this will be an integer. All right, let's compile this. Let's go back to our, let me see. Close view. Oh, okay. Let's continue. So let's go back to the event graph right now. So this is going to be the function that we're going to call. Player status is here. Index number is going to be the row number. I'm going to go just start location. Yeah, start location is what we want. And this is going to be, I'll make it it'll start location. No, that's not what I want. Let's just create a new variable. This is going to be the player info anchor point. Now, there are other ways to do this. Again, I need to link these together. So again, I'm making this one function to handle all that work, so this makes this easy to look at. Let's finish that function right now. So again, first thing is if we really want to do is create the widget. User info widget. Owning player is going to be the player. Get player controller 1. Now this is going to be this is the informational piece. So player 1's always going to own this because it's just visual. It's not something that is going to be like for each player. We could, again, later on when we start dealing with other like screens, we can deal with that question later on. But basically, let's create the widget, and then set what did we call it? Okay, nano game state. Okay. So we'll set the nano game state, and that's going to be this right here. Oh, come on. Enough room. We'll do a reroute node up here just to make this easier for me. Come on. Oh, what is going on? BP nano player state. Oh, I've got the wrong HUD. Wait. Oh, I have. Wait. Wait. Okay. So this should be player state. B. Player state. Change variable type. I should have just deleted that. Okay. Let's go back to should be and I should have not called it display name. Well, okay. This should be okay. What are you on about? Player state. Why did I do? Wow. Set info. There we go. Okay. All right, so let's get back to why this is not working, because I didn't have the right class. How did I do that? I don't know. All right. Oh, why did I don't need to pass this, because I've got this stored right here. What I do want to need to do. Let me see. General player state. What we also want to do here is to also so we do want to set the transform. Let's break let's start with the reroute node here. We want to get the transform. Let's break the split struct pin. Again, which shear and scale we don't want to play with. It's ultimately the location. Yeah, let's make a mother function for our purposes. Function set location. And for our purposes, we want the input to be, let's bring this out a little bit. So row number. This will be an integer. And then what we do want is an output will be a vector2. sorry, this is going to be location, and this will end up being a vector 2D. I'll break this link. All right, we're going to add one more. Yeah, we'll add one more variable. It'll be a vector 2 to make our lives easier. This is going to be row gap, we'll call it for our purposes. We'll compile. Let's say the row gap is, so we're not going to actually move on the X, we'll just move on the Y. So this will be 50. So each row will be 50 down. So we'll get the player info. We need the player gap. So it's going to be it's going to be multiplication. So we're going to add the row gap. Come on. Is it going to go the other way? Wow, this is being a pan behind. Okay, so let's delete this. We're going to split the struct pin. We're going to split this struct pin as well. No, we'll leave that. We'll so it's going to be just the Y. It's going to be multiplied by the row number. And we'll make and then we'll plug this into the X, plug this into the Y. Oh, it's not plugging that in. There we go. We can take that out. There we go. All right, so this is a bit messy, but what we want. And then we're going to add these together. There we go. Plug that into location, and we will set this here. There we go. Jump back to the now HUD. That's not event graph. No, place. Here we go. Here's the place. We are going to actually what we're going to do is and what we're going to do is we're going to make this function make it pure to make our lives easier. So we'll plug that into location, and then so we'll actually, why is it? There we go. I think I was using row number. There's another, yeah, it was there already. Okay, local row number. Let's move these over a little bit. Let's see if this will go in here. Trying to make this a little more cleaner. There we go. Yeah, messy, but should do what we need to do. The big thing right now is now that we've done this, let's compile. Let's go back to our player info. Right now, let's put this 250 in and we'll say 125 down to start. And if everything's going correctly, let's just compress play. And they're not. They may not be. I'm gonna have to come back and I think I'm deleting them as soon as they're putting onto the screen. So we'll come back and we can work on that next lecture effectively. There was another. So I'm just gonna go back. There was a run real-time property call get player subsystem. What's going on is that let's go back to where's my player. Let's handle that. Here's the game pawn. I'm in head score. Okay, that's why. Let's go to the event graph. So I think I've done this for one. Yeah, here I'm asking if this is a player controller. No, that's not where it is. What did I do? It should be. So what I want to ask is, I want to say is local controller. Actually, do is local player controller. And plug that into there. That should actually. So that's basically all that I need to do is just ask if it's the local player controller. And if we compile, we can go back. You see that error went away. So basically what was happening is I was trying to connect inputs on a remote controller, which I don't actually have access to. So, but the big thing is that, again, what we want to do is basically put in widget information. Again, let's go to the nano HUD. That's not the one I want. Here it is, the HUD. But basically, let's go with the event graph. I mean, the big one is that basically I'm going to get game status, player array, and basically I'm going to loop through the player array and then set it up, place widgets where it needs to be. Let's take these off for one moment because I'm not making them correctly. Okay, so I got to look at what I've done wrong. So this log. Oh, it's yelling about this, the pi credentials. Not a big deal, but the big thing is that now we're going to basically go through. We're going to build out that menu, to build out that HUD. I'm gonna have to go back over and look at what I've done wrong, and then I'll probably have to make another video or give you an announcement about what is wrong. I know I've gone probably way too fast. My apologies. But the first step is, again, getting the timer up and running, pushing that to, pushing that information to the game state. Again, let's go back just to that quickly. Where is it? Save everything. Actually, it's PC on. No, it's the folder up. Yeah, here's the nano game state. So what I really should have done. No, not here. It's in the game state. Sorry. So in the game mode, what I really should have done is rather than doing this, I should have instead so I'm going to do set. I'm going to call it set and get is game over. So in this case, again, the input should be again a Boolean new is game over. So is game over value. So is game over should be get. Sorry, not a get. Should be a set. And then get game state as to BP nano game state. Set is game over. Again, this is and I'm going to just grab these literally just to make my life a little bit easier. So the next function I need really made is set and rep time remaining. So rather than, again, this would be a integer. Oh, wait a second. I need to get time remaining first. Sorry, set the time remaining. Set time remaining, and then we can wire that in. So ideally, so now that I've got these, let's go back over. So start game. I mean, literally it is, rather than that set, we can bring in our function. And then time remaining. So we can close start game. We'll close this because we're going to get rid of push game stats. Timer tick. So we are going to push everything out. So this is time remaining. We'll just set that, and then set is game over. Let's take this out. So now we're only doing the pushes only when we need to. And that will allow us, now that we've done this, let me see, timer tick. Yep. So we can go back to our event graph. We can actually take this out now. So we compile. We can So everything again, we're now actually a lot more optimized now that we've done that. So we're not pushing every, we're not pushing the timer every frame. We're not pushing is game over every frame. We're only doing it when we need to now. Any questions for me? What you need to do? I got to go over and I'll have a better answer for you on Thursday about setting up the widgets as an array. I'm not. Yeah, I'm a little off of why it's not showing up at the moment. So. Any other questions? Anything you want on? Any questions you want recorded? No. All right.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording now.